Welcome to the Brand Marketing Podcast, where we talk to local superheroes and hear how they got their start, overcame obstacles, and used social media to achieve their marketing goals. Here's this week's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Brand Marketing Podcast. This is Cas, and today we have a special guest with us, LaShanda Green. How you doing, LaShanda?
I'm good, Cas. How about you?
It's good. Everything's excellent. So tonight we want to talk about how to be successful in real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about how you got your start. If there's anybody that's thinking about getting into the real estate industry, I'm sure that you have some tips for them too, correct?
Yeah, probably a few tips.
There you go. So walk me through your start first. So how did you get started in real estate? What made you say, hey, this is for me. I want to start a new endeavor and go into real estate?
Well, I got laid off from AT&T after about 15 years in corporate America. During that time, I always had a passion for wanting to do something on my own. So I started throwing out different ideas. Maybe I'll open up a daycare, or maybe I'll do some in-home catering, or maybe I had all these different visions. And I went to my, at the time, my youngest son's daycare, and there was a lady there. Her son and my son became really close friends, and she was a realtor. So she kind of planted a seed because I didn't know much about it. I had owned a home, but didn't know much about what it takes to be a realtor.
Gotcha. So let's say, so it sounds like you got thrown into it and you snatched it up, ran with it, and now you're super successful. But let's say in my corporate job, or I don't have a job at all, but I'm thinking about becoming a realtor, like maybe 3, 4, 5 months from now. What are some things that I could do to prepare to become a realtor or a real estate agent?
Well, first you want to sign up for a pre-license class.
Okay.
You kind of want to, I don't want to say look at YouTube videos at how to, because it's probably going to show you not real estate. So definitely doing some research and taking a pre-license class to get acclimated with it. And then study, like while you're in the real estate class, study.
Gotcha.
But what you're studying is not really preparing you to be a realtor. It's just preparing you to have the knowledge base that you need to get started.
Gotcha. So I'm sure with that knowledge, even getting experience, getting your feet wet in the first couple months, I'm sure people make tons of mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So what are some common mistakes that real estate agents make in the first year that could be avoided with either more studying or getting a mentor, etc.? So what are some common mistakes that you see?
I don't know if I would say it's mistakes, because everything you're going to learn is more or less going to teach you. It's going to exercise some muscles that you're building on. So I don't know if I'll call it a mistake, but I'll say some things that as you gain experience, you may not do again. So for an example is you may, because you're super excited at your first buyer, take them out to look at a ton of homes before they've gotten pre-approved.
Gotcha. So not really mistakes, like challenges. Yeah, certain challenges that you're just going to learn with experience. I got you. So when you're not doing real estate, what do you do for fun? So I know you're heavily devoted, super committed, but you're also a mom, and you do a lot outside of real estate to stay balanced. What are some things that you do to just keep your mind occupied?
So if you don't know, I have a really big passion for cooking. I always have. So I spend a good amount of time in the kitchen. I've always been that mom that wanted my kids to have home cooked meals. I wanted flavor. I wanted colorful food. So I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. That's one thing, because it eases my mind. Two, I'm outdoors. So I love going to a park. I love being around water. So if you can see me on the weekend, I want to be at somebody's lake. I want to be near a pool. Lastly, my dogs. I spend a great deal of time with my puppies.
Gotcha. What breed of dogs do you have?
2 Shih Tzus.
Okay, so I'm sure they keep you busy.
Yeah, they do.
Gotcha. What are their names?
Willow and Tigger. And we also have another dog, Harlem. She's a lab.
Okay, nice. Okay, nice. Let's go back to food for a second. And all right, so you spoke about food, going outside, the outdoors, having the dogs. So how important do you feel, in your opinion, do you feel having, a life outside of real estate? How important do you think that is in regards to being successful at real estate or whatever you do?
So definitely you got to have some balance. You cannot, because real estate can consume you. It's not just like you get up in the morning and you punch a clock and your day starts, then you push a time clock and your day ends. Your real estate day begins. It's all day. Can be.
Well, it's a lifestyle. Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. So you inside of that lifestyle, you have to create your own lifestyle. You have to make sure you have some good hobbies. You have some good support people that you can talk to, and then attend network events, do things with other people that are in the industry or that contribute to the industry.
Okay, awesome. So if I'm all right, so I'm gonna put you on the spot just a little bit. Not too tough. I'm not gonna jam you up, I promise. So no curveballs. But let's say I'm thinking about selling a house, and I've never sold a house before. This is my first time selling. What's one tip that you could give to me?
Trust your realtor.
Tell me more. What do you mean by that? Why is that
Well,
important?
so when you make a decision to sell your home, take the time to get familiar with your realtor, trust your realtor and their advice because the realtor should be the subject expert matter in that field. So
Okay.
allow them to guide you and navigate you through the process.
Okay. All
That would
right. So I'm
be
gonna
one
ask.
tip.
Go. That's one tip. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw the same curveball, but from a different perspective. So let's say I'm buying my first house. Would the strategy be the same or different? What's one thing I should look out for?
Also, well, it's the same trust.
Okay.
Develop a rapport and trust with your realtor because that person has to know everyone's job. It's almost like when you go to the doctor, you talk to the doctor, you see the doctor one time.
Right.
With your realtor, you work with that person almost day in, day out. So you want to
Okay.
be able to make sure you work with someone you trust, someone that's very knowledgeable, and someone that if they don't have the experience, so to speak, like the time in the business,
Hmm.
then that they have a network of people or team that they can rely on to help you navigate through the process.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a good one. All right, so we got some tips. We got one tip for buying, one tip for selling. Very similar. I think it comes down to making sure you're trusting your realtor and the people that are around you are really looking out for your best interest. Correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So we know that the real estate industry is super competitive. I was gonna say it's really competitive being a realtor. It seems like every other month, new realtors pop off, and some fall out. They're not as committed, not as serious. So, what are some things that you do personally to separate yourself and be successful?
One would be that I stay involved with keeping myself educated with what's going on in the real estate market, which
Right.
helped me to be able to not only help sellers and buyers, but navigate and help my friends in a not just in a real estate world, but just even financial literacy.
Okay.
Um, So that's one thing. Just that, along with having the 15 years in corporate America and the various roles that I did with
Okay.
AT&T, gives me a little bit more of an edge to be able to help my buyers, my sellers, or even just my customers, friends.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to go deeper with that answer. So the first part, you said that even helping your friends, helping your network with things such as financial literacy. What do you mean by that? Go like how's that and why is that important in any process, either buying or selling?
Well, because oftentimes we don't, I don't want to put in a box. So I'll just say as people, we not don't always know the benefits that we have of owning a home. We also may not know the benefits of having a regular checking account,
Right.
or the benefits of actually building credit and why credit is important. So coming from a corporate America background, now on top of that, networking with individuals who do mortgages, networking with bankers and closing attorneys, um, fills my toolbox
Right. I like
with
that.
the resources to be able to educate those that don't know. You may not know
Right.
that it's important to take out a different policy on your home. So in the event that something happens to you, there's policies out there that you can get that to pay the house off if you passed away and you don't burden your family with it.
Right.
Those tools that I have came merely from me staying involved and educating myself and taking classes and talking with
Mhm.
the right people that have the right information to give to me to give back to someone else.
No, that's awesome. I like that. All right. So for the second part, and you did bring up having that corporate background. So obviously, it's helped you communicate and help other people. Are there any other benefits that you've seen come out of having that background?
Definitely. So one of the biggest aspects of buying a home is you have a contract you're signing, right? You as a
Contracts.
buyer signing on your side, and so as a seller. So during my time at AT&T, I worked really heavily with contracts and um, corporate leasing. So
Okay.
therefore, my eye on looking at your contract and understanding your contract and helping you understand it without giving you real estate law advice
Right. Because you're
is
not a lawyer, right?
great.
So,
Correct. We're
yep.
not a lawyer, so I don't practice, giving legal advice, but I can definitely help you understand what you're signing.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Now we just spoke about lawyers and the things that they do, etc. So how important to you is it having a good team of support around you to, help buyers, help sellers, et cetera? How important is that to you? And
It's
why?
very important for you to have a team. You need people that's behind you that can help you go through the process. So the team that I have behind me, like I have a couple of preferred attorneys that I use that in the
Right.
event that you're dealing with someone that had a death in the family, they can help you navigate that process and what probate looks like. I have a couple of preferred lenders that I work with. Therefore, because we've worked so heavily together, me, the buyer, me,
Mm-hmm.
the seller, when we have that lender, we're all one big team communicating with the bottom line, getting to the end of the table, which is of course the closing.
Gotcha. I love that.
So having that support is really, really good. It's helpful. It makes your transaction go smoothly.
Right. Now I can imagine. All right. So as we wrap up, we know that marketing is important. That's how we met and we started working together. So tell me about the, one or two things that you love about applying marketing to your real estate profile, to your real estate career in regards to getting leads, without giving up any goods or sponsoring any one of your tools, et cetera. What are, some of the things that you like doing to, again, get your name, get your brand out there?
Okay. So if you haven't followed me, you should, because a lot of my marketing has to do with giving educational tips. That's, I think, one of the niches that I have. So it's just not me showing, some beautiful homes, but I'm actually providing you value with being able to give you some educational tips on if you're selling a home, if you're buying a home, what the process looks like, what an inspection is, what an appraisal is. So I think getting yourself out there, making yourself be uncomfortable.
Right. I like that.
Talking to the public helps you to get leads, but also the biggest part for me is not so much as the leads. It's just going to be relationship building, because every person that hits me up in my inbox may not be looking to buy or sell a home, but they may just want to be able to give this information to their aunt, and their aunt may not live here. Their aunt may live in Cincinnati, Ohio, but a lot of the processes are still the same.
Gotcha. That makes a lot. So I appreciate you taking the time for sure. This has definitely been enlightening for not just me, but for anybody that's listening. Before we go, though, what's one thing that I didn't ask that you want everybody to know about LaShanda Green and Green Path Realty? Yeah. What should we know?
That's a curveball.
That's a curveball? Yeah. Is there anything I missed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
One thing that I want the public to know about LaShanda Green: passionate. If you can't see it through this podcast, I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about the relationships that I build with people. I'm passionate about my puppies, because I'm sure you saw that face. But yeah, I would say that would be the one thing.
Passion. Gotcha. All right. So LaShanda Green, passion, Green Path Realty. I appreciate you being here. And before we go, how can people get in touch with you? Should they call? Do you have an email? Where can they find you? What's your number one place?
Text message.
And how can we get you?
404-403-8022.
LaShanda, I appreciate you. And for everybody listening, thanks for listening to the Brand Marketing Podcast. It's been fantastic. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. The Brand Marketing Podcast is produced by Gladmash. To get access to more brand marketing tips, visit www.brandmarketingblueprint.com.